council agenda, Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, regular Township Council meeting of March 17, 2026. Introduction, posting of notice. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Law by filing notice in the office of the Township Clerk and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin board at the Municipal Building on December 4th, 2025, where it's remained posted since that date. A legal notice appeared in the Daily Record and North Star Ledger on December 17, 2025. May I please ask everyone to stand for the flag salute?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Karifi?
Here.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Here.
Mr. McGrath?
Here.
Ms. Patel?
Here.
Mr. Hernandez?
Here.
Also in attendance are Mayor Polkett Desai, Business Administrator Mark Seaman. We have Township Attorney Joe DeMarco, Municipal Clerk Colette Madden. Council President, we have a quorum. Can I begin?
Yes, please.
Upcoming meetings, April 7th, 2026 at 7 p.m. agenda meeting, April 21st at 7 p.m. regular meeting. Ordinances, there are none. Presentations. So right now we have a presentation. We're going to do the, can we do the presentation for the Community Hope for an application on Morris County Home Grant, and then we have a presentation on Global Initiative Save Soil. So the Save the Soil, we want to do it after the budget, or do you want to do it now? Because since you have the budget already set up, so we'll do it after the budget.
The budget's going to be long, so.
Yeah, I just first.
Okay, so then they'll just have to connect to, you guys can connect to the projector at this time?
Oh, boy.
Stacy just has to unplug hers.
Actually, we may have an issue if you disconnect and reconnect. So could you wait till after the budget? Is that the goal?
Yeah, we'll do that, just so it doesn't.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Okay, then we're going to move along to the public session. I'd like to entertain a motion to open up the public session.
Motion.
The home.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Hernandez, seconded by Ms. Patel. Roll call.
Are you doing the home grant?
No, wait. I want to do the community.
Do you want to do that now?
Well, the home, do you need a,
Do you need a projector? You don't need a projector? Then go for it.
Yeah, go to the projector.
No, up front.
Please. Do we need a mic? Do you have a mic? I don't know. Give it 1 second.
All right. My name is Jeanette Vanderhoof, and I'm the property director with Community Hope. We are.
I think you should face us, right?
I'm sorry?
You should face us.
Sure, you could face them.
Sure. My name is Jeanette Vanderhoof. I'm the property director with Community Hope. We are a nonprofit organization that houses individuals with severe mental illness and homeless veterans in the community. We have a property that's located at 639 Tabor Road in Parsippany, and we are looking to apply for the home grant fund for the 2026 year in the amount of $197,000. That grant would substantially help our organization by giving it a lot of renovations that are needed outside. We need a new retaining wall, handicap accessible. Sorry.
Speak into the mic.
A handicap accessible unit. We need some kitchen renovations, a bathroom renovation, and this would really impact the 5 individuals we have living at that property.
Okay, so are you presenting that you're going to submit the grant?
It's already been submitted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
the grant has been submitted. We are just here for the approval for the town.
I don't have a problem with that. What's the protocol for somebody in town for submitting a grant?
So
I mean,
who's the grant is submitted with the town or with the county?
With the county,
With the
Morris
county.
County.
And you're just looking for an endorsement from the town?
Correct.
Of that?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you submitted the whole package to the township?
Correct. I think the last part we need is these forms filled out by you guys.
Okay, when do you need that by?
The sooner the better would be great.
Okay, did they also want a resolution from the township?
No, just these papers need to be
Just those
signed.
papers. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to hand them to us? and
Sure.
we'll take care of it?
What was the address again?
639 Tabor Road.
And it's an existing.
That's an existing
Yeah.
3-family unit. There's 2 2-bedroom units and a single 1-bedroom unit upstairs.
So just, because you weren't talking into the mic at the beginning.
Oh, sorry.
So just for the people in the back. So it's essentially a rehab of that building,
That's correct.
right? It's not building a brand new building or doing anything
Nope,
else?
it's just renovations to the existing unit.
Can you just say the renovations again for everyone?
It is a foundation injection, a railing and retaining wall, repair for the stone wall in the front, siding replacement, window replacement, and a kitchen renovation.
So it'll clean the house up?
Correct.
It'll look better?
Absolutely.
It'll be a benefit to the neighborhood
Correct.
and the existing neighbors?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Which side is that on, Tabor? I'm trying to.
If you're heading towards Mars Plains, it's on the left-hand side.
Okay.
And you had said something about the handicap accessibility. Is it to bring you guys up to ADA standards, or?
We are currently, the unit itself, one of the 2-bedroom units is up to ADA standards now. The parking lot in the back that we have is not up to ADA standards.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you want to hand those forms to the clerk? Thank
Sure.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and we know where to send this back to? Just email the clerk.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will email the clerk.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have some flyers. You guys want any about our agency?
Yep.
Yeah, please.
If you want to leave them here.
I will post. Here you go.
Thank you.
Any other member from the public? Come on up, Tony.
We didn't get to the public session, but she has to open it.
Oh, let me open up the public session, Tony, real quick, because they stay right there.
We were all interested.
We didn't-
Yeah, it's coming. We had a motion by Ms. Hernandez and a second by Ms. Patel. Roll call. Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Ms. Patel?
Yes.
And Mr. Hernandez? Come on up, Mr. Fazana.
Tony Fasano, 41 Robin Hood Road, Morris Plains, New Jersey. Couple subjects tonight. One was about the affordable housing. Newark is issuing and rebuilding hotels. There's copies of it. And there's also the 69 towns that were exempt from it. Maybe we ought to talk to our governor about enforcing everybody to comply. They're claiming nothing can be exempt, and the issue is never failure. Well, here's some documentation of the same thing that was done in 2008. It's $300 billion worth of failure. So if these houses, affordable houses, were supposed to be all occupied by now, what is going on? It seems like we just talk about the affordable housing numbers, but nobody realizes, I've been to 4 public speeches, and people are talking about the 400. Nobody's talking about the other 2,000 behind it. What are you gonna do? Is this an Abbott and Costello routine? I make 7/13 equal 28? Or do we start issuing Pinocchio awards? Like I said, this is 300 billion. It's actually on the books now for federal, from 5 major auditing firms. The property is valued now at $750 billion. Thank you.
Any other member from public? Come on up, Nick. I know you want to come up.
Bob Venezia, Parsippany. Voting for a pilot is one of the most consequential decisions that a council member must make. For example, the park pilot alone cost Parsippany taxpayers $117 million in future tax revenue. On several occasions, including the last two pilots that were rushed through the system, I believe that the council members were not given enough time to review the legalese contained in the pilot agreements before having to vote. So I would like to make the following suggestion. Included as part of the pilot application package, Parsippany should require the developer to submit a plain English version of the pilot agreement in addition to the standard legal version. Easy request, no, it doesn't cost anybody anything. Also, I have a second suggestion for the governing body to consider. Last December, the developer of the park project threatened to discontinue the project unless he was granted a pilot. This threat was strategically timed to occur a few weeks before the state was scheduled to review Parsippany's affordable housing plan. Without 120 affordable units from Park, the state would have undoubtedly rejected the township's plan, and that would have likely led to builders' remedy lawsuits. I believe that the timing of the developer's threat to abandon the park project was deliberate and extortionary. And the end result was just that as the developer intended. Parsippany granted Park a $117 million long-term pilot tax abatement. So my second suggestion to the governing body is intended to prevent a developer from doing what Park did, leveraging an upcoming state affordable housing review to pressure Parsippany into granting a pilot. I propose that the governing body should adopt an unstated policy of scheduling a vote on pilot ordinances after, not before, the next scheduled review of Parsippany's affordable housing plan by the state. You know, kind of take that extortion out of play. When it comes to pilots, Parsippany always seems to have to react to the demands of the developers. These suggestions are just two ways the township can exercise a little more control over the pilot process. I'd like to hear your comments on these suggestions, and I urge you to adopt both of them. Thank you.
I love it, Bob. I'll
You can
talk
make a
for
few
you.
comments, right? Do you want to make a few comments?
You sure can.
I think there were good suggestions. We're taking everything that comes in to Parsippany now in a different manner.
So one of the things too, Mayor, that maybe we should start to think about, you know, we've heard with all these affordable housing pieces coming up that there more than likely will be offers for pilots. Maybe we should build out a committee of yourself, the BA, maybe one of the council members here, and someone from the public, so that we can achieve what Bob just discussed. So make this a little more formalized and allow them to then have a clearer voice and vision in terms of what the impact of this is. Because $117 million is now going to be made up with by the residents. I want to make sure the residents fully understand what we're doing up here that's going to impact them over the next 30 years.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll,
Come on up, Nick.
and see what we can do.
Doesn't have to be Bob.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions?
Nick, you call me out.
Microphone work?
That works, should work.
Nope, doesn't, oh yeah, it does.
Come on, Nick. You doubting me, man?
Are you okay?
Just a short comment on what Bob said. We're in a fix now because the United States of America doesn't exist anymore. We don't give to the states of the United States. So these developers are going to use the excuse, because we're headed for bad economic times, they're going to say, we have to have the affordable housing, and we just don't have the money, so we're gonna have to have a pilot. Thank you, President Trump, and your gangster capitalist war criminals. The polar vortex came back, and it's time to blame the wind. Today, on North Beverwick Avenue, between 118 and 144, there was medical waste spread along the avenue. I made a concern to the health department and the sanitation department. Both were closed down. Now, the medical waste wasn't real bloody and gory, but it still had body fluids on it. There was some mucus and tissues, gauze, tubes you stick down your nose with some stuff on it. This address, 118, has been practicing improper sanitation for years now, for years. And I've made several concerns over the years, and the same thing is going on. Now, today they had to get a street cleaner out there. And Chad, that the inspector said it was taken care of. It wasn't taken care of because it was all the way down. I got pictures. It was not taken care of. But here's what's going on. How many people do we have in the health department? How many people do we have in the housing department? We have one sanitation inspector in a town that leaves the garbage out 2 days a week. Now, I saw an article they're hiring police officers. Why don't they hire another sanitation officer? Because to me, the fact that we only have one, it's just gaslighting. We've given up on trying to do better for a community. We live in a complex system. I just want to read this. We all live in a complex system. The mitochondria in the cell in the organism in the ecosystem in the biosphere. It's the same in nature as it is for mankind. We're part of nature. We're not working together. The departments of this town are off on their own linear courses. They don't work together. They pass things up. When is it time for a town employee to make a concern? Why does the citizen always have to make a concern? If somebody drives by or sees something or a degraded area, for example, that's so trashed, if a citizen doesn't report it, it doesn't get reported. So we have to start working together as a community. Because as far as I'm concerned, 2026, community is just a word. It's just a word. But this, both departments close it out, and I doubt whether this address will be remedied. It's ongoing, and our sanitation workers shouldn't have to come out because somebody can't put a bag out and tie it right, or leave the lid on a garbage can, and then the wind blows it, and where does it wind up? Winds up in your community, winds up in the Rockaway River, winds up in Troy Meadows. We gotta start doing better
You have
as
30
a community.
seconds,
Thank
Nick,
you.
can I have
And this is a bag here, some of the evidence with the medical stuff I picked up.
Nick, can I have the address again, please?
118 North Beverwood Road.
Okay,
And it's been ongoing for years, Mayor.
what is that?
Well, I'm hearing for the first time, so.
What is that?
It's a dental office.
Okay.
But they leave the bags out, they don't tie them at all,
All right.
it's in the wind, and it's, blame the wind. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Nick.
Mr. Suarez?
Nick, if I may add real quick, over the years, I have seen where, when it's very windy like this and garbage gets blown around, I have seen some of our sanitation workers go out of their way walk across the street to pick up some garbage that's been blown out and throw it in the truck. So, but if you're saying it was spread all over Beverick Road, I mean, you know, they can only pick up so much, but I have seen our guys go out of their way, with the exception of picking up just regular garbage in front of someone's house and going across the street to get stuff that's blown around. So. No, I know, but it was very windy last night, so the lid probably blew off and then whatever, but.
Good evening. Before I start, comment, all medical waste is supposed to be red bag waste. Just the fact that it wasn't in a red bag is a violation, as we all know. I hope we all know. Before I start, I want to make clear I'm not picking on any individual that may or may not be in the room. I'm just stating a fact here, okay? We've all heard of the deal that was struck between the son of a former councilman and the Barbario administration to make a deal at the very end of the former mayor's term cannot be allowed to happen again.
Richard, can you speak?
Cannot be allowed to happen again. So rather than bestow such a sweetheart deal to the politically connected, I'd like to put forward an alternate plan. Should another lease agreement of this kind become available in the future, there are scores of veterans that have fallen on hard times, and this type of lease agreement that was agreed to by Barbario and friends could be a lifeline to someone that served our country. No doubt living rent-free for a year could help some deserved veteran get his or her life back on track. I know a gentleman that works for the American Legion who serves as a liaison between the VA and veterans. I am confident he would be able to find and recommend someone that could use a leg up during these times of increasingly high prices. Are there any residency requirements for this type of lease? I cannot imagine anyone would oppose helping someone that has sacrificed for our country. Should another such lease opening become available, I hope my suggestion would be considered. I wonder if there are any other sweetheart deals that were swept under the rug in former Mayor Barbario's last days. The residents of Parsippany can't afford another term with former Mayor Barbario and his wingman, John Inglesino, pulling the strings behind the scenes to the detriment of Parsippany residents. I'm now going to shift to one of my favorite subjects, ICE. Kristi Noem did a bang-up, did Kristi Noem do a bang-up job before she was moved from her position? I mean, even Donald Trump could not put up with her antics any longer, which included a $220 million no-bid ad campaign, which her longtime friends just happened to be selected for. These ads, starring none other than Kristi Noem, I believe the $220 million would make it onto the list of the top 12 most costly movie budgets of all time. And exactly what are we going to do with the billions upon billions of dollars worth of warehouses that are being built for ICE once this country comes to its senses and stops the madness? I suspect the well-connected entity will purchase them for pennies on the dollar. This money could have and should have been spent on healthcare assistance for the needy, many of which are children. To simply deport people that have ties to their communities, some of which are business owners and have employees dependent upon them for their livelihood, makes no sense. This is exactly what is happening just so ICE agents can achieve the arbitrary number of 3,000 souls a day, simply because Stephen Miller picked that number right out of his head, is insane. Has any progress been made on the Lake Hiawatha library situation, and when will road resurfacing
be,
You have 30 seconds.
when will road surfacing be started again on Lake Hiawatha? The road's just a horror show. I thank you for your time. I thank everyone here. Good night.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Do we have anything on the library do you want to mention?
Not
Mr. Negro, are you coming up?
Nothing new.
Nothing new, but there is something with the library being worked out, and we hope to make an announcement in the near future.
Thanks.
Yeah, there is positive progress. I can report that. And on, just on the end, the comment from Mr. Suarez, on the, veterans, thing, I'll take that into
Mayor, can you just speak into the mic?
Oh, Mr. Suarez, your recommendation on something to do with the veterans, as a veteran myself, I would definitely take that into consideration. Thank you.
Come, Senator.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Frank Neglio, and I want to address some comments that were made by Mr. Suarez. I want to set the record straight. For starters, there is no sweetheart deal. There are there's a resolution and an ordinance that give the mayor the authority to do what he did. Now, regarding the person who got the lease, there is currently a person with the same exact lease living in Craftsman Farm, and his co-worker also got a lease for the other house there to be the caretakers of the facility. Now, caretakers of a facility don't live free. They have to put in 64 hours a month. They have to also pay for all other expenses with the home. Unfortunately, when someone reported it, they didn't report all the truth. They didn't report the resolution, which supports this, and they didn't report the ordinance that supports this. Now, that's a shame because they put a young man's name out there who's starting a family, has worked diligently in town for 10 years, long before I was a councilman, made his own mark in the town. I had nothing to do with it. I always sit out of his way. I never got involved. Anyone who thinks to the contrary either doesn't know me or is just blowing smoke. Now, regarding the facility, the person that was spoken about this evening was not the first person asked. He only took it after several people turned it down. So, for the record, it was not a sweetheart deal, and for the record, it was done the right way under the ordinances, number 2016-08 and 2020 resolution 158. If you look them up, you'll see the mayor had every right to do it, and he acted within the jurisdiction of his position. Anything said to the contrary is false and a lie, and if someone's going to do research on it, they should get all the facts straight instead of trying to put a person's name in the newspaper that really is innocent in this, starting out in life, has had some hardship trying to have children, and finally has a little girl, and it's just despicable that people would act in that manner. Not asking for anything, just follow the rules and regulations and give a person a chance that was asked for the opportunity and not by me. Thank you.
Any other member of the public wish to speak? Okay, seeing no one, I'd like to entertain a motion to close the public session.
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Okay, the public session is closed. At this time, we're going to be moving along to our budget presentation. I'll call our business administrator, Mark Seaman, up, and our CFO, Angelica Sabatini, along with our auditors to do a short budget presentation.
Hello? Hey, there it is. All right, can everybody hear me okay? All right. First, I'd like to take a quick opportunity to say happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody, and thank you for coming out to listen to our fun presentation on a night that you could be doing something else. Right now, we have the Parsippany-Troy Hills 2026 budget introduction. We have Mayor Polka Desai, Business Administrator, myself, Mark Seaman, Chief Financial Officer, Angelica Sabatini. Next slide. The Finance Committee consists of myself, our CFO, Mayor Polka Desai, Council President Judy Hernandez, Council Vice President Dia Patel, Municipal Clerk Colette Midden, and Township Auditors PFK O'Connor Davies. Next slide. Okay, the goals and objectives of our budget is to improve and protect township infrastructure, create long-term fiscal stability.
Excuse me, Mark, is
Yes.
your mic on? It just sounds low to me. Okay.
But,
Can everybody hear?
everything all right?
Sarah, can you hear him speaking? Oh, you can.
Everything, all right, perfect. If it is, just let me know. Again, to create long-term fiscal stability, cultivate collaborative decision-making, review and assess all outstanding capital projects, invest in township employees, and provide residents with quality services. As you can see on the 2026 property tax levy breakdown, 60% of your taxes are the school, 26% is municipal, and then 9% is the county, 5% making up the remaining municipal and county open space, fire districts, and library. Right now, we are looking at a 9.5% increase on the municipal taxes for 2026. Okay. So for the general budget increases, it's a 6.75% increase or $6.35 million. The remaining 2.75% is associated with our utilities, which will be presented when the departments come in to speak. As of right now, we're looking at $130,000 increases in department operational budgets. We've asked all departments to come in flat where they can, and departments who have the highest increases will be presenting their budgets separately at the April 14th special meeting that is going to be held. We're looking at a $2 million increase in budget corrections. What these are, in our capital improvement fund, our reserves have been drawn down to cover the cost of going out to bond each year. So we're increasing this by $1 million to allow us to cover normal capital costs and expenses and start the process of rebuilding our capital improvement fund. We also are putting another $1 million aside for accumulated absences. This is another increase of $1 million, which allows us to cover normal absences and payouts while avoiding special emergencies, which is how it's been handled in the past. Then we have $2 million in increases to salaries, which is a 5.75% increase from 2025. Roughly $1 million of that is a result of new positions within the municipality. As you know, through the newspapers, we'll be budgeting for 10 new police officers, as well as various other entry-level positions throughout the township. One of the things that's been brought up to me throughout the short time that I've been here is having attention on vacancies and new hires. A part of this administration is that I will be providing a report on a monthly basis at our regular meetings that will pretty much break down how many vacancies we have and how many we've filled. Tomorrow morning, we have a department head meeting where I will be instructing all department heads to have all of their vacancies and requests for new hires when this is ultimately approved to be able to immediately go out for advertisement for all of our open positions. And as I said, every month at our regular council meeting, I'll be providing stats on where we are within those hires. And then we have a $2.5 million increase to set costs. This is a 5.22% increase, which is about 0.25% more than the 7-year average of roughly just under 5%. Next slide. Now we're going to discuss some of the budget challenges. The accumulated absences I had just discussed. Health insurance rates have gone up by $2 million. Capital Improvement Fund, as mentioned as well, we're increasing that by $1 million. Other insurances, which include the, liability insurance, auto insurance, what am I missing here, sorry. Unemployment, and I think I missed a slide. What is the other one? That's it. Okay, that was it. Okay, and then for reserve for debt service, I'm going to hand it over to our CFO.
For this one, this is an anticipated revenue in the budget that draws down on the reserve that we have. The reserve has been drawn down significantly over the last few years, and all that remains is $3,000. So it's a revenue that we had at 264,000 last year. We can only anticipate 3,000 in this budget. And then the next one, the fund balance, we'll explain a little bit more later on, but this is reduction in the revenue source of $2.5 million.
Thank you. And then finally, we have the reserve for uncollected taxes, which is a $200,000 increase. Essentially, our tax rate dropped below what we normally anticipate, and we are able to use an average of the last 3 years. There's a resolution on as well to allow us to do that. But again, that will result in a $200,000 increase. Next slide. So we discussed earlier the budget set costs. Essentially, we are looking at, again, it's a 5.22 increase from 2025, which is about 0.25% over the 7-year average, which is roughly just under 5%, which comes out to about $2.5 million. Last year, it was roughly $49 million. So just to quickly go through that, again, it's employee benefits, municipal insurances, utilities, gas, electric, and water. This is what the municipality pays for what we use. For solid waste, we have a sanitation department. We pick up the garbage, and then we have to pay to dump it somewhere else. Pension contributions, which is an annual cost to the municipality. Social security costs, library appropriations, which again is an annual cost that we provide our libraries. Debt service payments is essentially when we go out to bond for our major projects. This is what we have to pay back on a schedule. Single emergency costs, which is what we are trying to avoid doing, what has been done in the past. For single emergency costs, we have ways that we are able to pay for emergencies, and the way that it's been done is bonding for things that we shouldn't. So we're working hard to change that process. And then again, we have reserve for uncollected taxes, which we just discussed. And I'll turn it back over to our CFO for the next slide.
Okay, so this chart is showing how our fund balance has tracked since 2021. As you can see, the amount generated in fund balance at the year end of 2025 was $3.9 million, which is significantly lower than it was the prior year. In New Jersey budgeting, it's recommended to only use the amount generated in the prior year in the budget as a revenue. So that's why that revenue has been reduced. The fund balance is down primarily due to a lower collection rate in taxes and a higher budget utilization. We do expect a higher fund balance generation in this year due to new and growing revenue sources. To that note, these are some of our other notable revenue sources. You can see what we collected and what we're planning on using in this budget. We cannot budget more than what was collected in the prior year. We do anticipate some of these revenues coming in higher because we've adjusted the rates. Some other new revenues we anticipate in 2026 that would contribute to fund balance are the Avalon and District 1515 pilot revenues. Some of the other approved pilots are under construction, so we may see some of those revenues come in later this year as well. And then the cannabis license fees and sales tax. We are conducting a townwide review of all of our revenue sources and looking to make changes to generate additional funds. Outside of the general budget, we did modify our connection fees for water and sewer, so these should benefit those budgets. Additionally, we're looking to do a study of our water and sewer rates later in this year.
And what to look forward to. The goal is for us to correct the mistakes of the past within this first year, bringing multiple splash pads into our community, having a resolution to the Lake Hiawatha Library, which has been discussed a lot since I've been here, having better communication and collaboration between the township and the Board of Education. We've already started meeting, and we intend to meet on a monthly basis. Major investments into the knoll and upgrades there. We're going to be putting in bays at the driving range with heat as well as lighting. Then we have road resurfacing, traffic, and lighting upgrades. The Glenmont Commons resolution is going to be on the way. We're hoping sometime this spring to have an answer there. And again, the celebration of 250 years of our country. And the final slide. On the April 14th meeting, we will have the Water Department, Sewer Department, Department of Public Works, which is going to consist of engineering, buildings and grounds, parks and forestry, and streets and roads, and then our police department as well. I believe at the 7th and at the 14th and at the 21st, the public is going to have opportunities to ask any questions that they have on the budget as we're putting this all together. And I would just like to thank everybody for the opportunity to put this together. Obviously, I haven't been here very long, but I've been working very hard to try and put this together within the last month and a half with our team, and I want to thank our team for being able to put this together within such a short amount of time. I know it's a big number, but we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that the services that you are receiving within this township are quality services, and we're going to correct the financial mistakes of the past. That is my goal, that is our goal, and I thank you.
Thank you. Questions?
I just have, in reference to the uncollected taxes, when these people do pay, and I'm assuming we're going to eventually go after these people for not paying, and I know that's a large amount of money. When that money comes in now, then what does that do? Because, you know, let's say $2 million are owed in taxes. We get that money, are we going to give that back to the residents as part of their, a reduction in the increase because we finally got that money, or how's that going to work?
Unfortunately, we will get the money eventually, and with interest and penalties on it because it is delinquent. But unfortunately, because if we didn't receive it by 12/31/2025, it affects our overall collection rate for that year. And by law, we can only, our reserve for uncollected taxes is calculated based on your collection rate from the prior year. So assuming they pay and they pay current for 2026, our collection rate should go up and we shouldn't be in the same position next year. But we need to make sure that they're coming in and they're paying on time. So, but there are mechanisms for that money to come in. If they don't pay by the time we have tax sale, a lien would be put on their property. So.
Right, but if that influx of money does come in, let's say in the next 3 months, they do pay that, and this budget goes through and now they pay and we collect another $2 million that we didn't have. I'm just throwing that number out. I don't know what
ultimately
it is.
that would
Where would that go?
to fund balance.
Right, so then.
So that would benefit our next year's budget. Unfortunately, it doesn't benefit this budget.
It's the same concept with the revenues, because we know that we've already made increases to fees that we're going to see throughout this year. It's just because of the timing of the increases, we're not going to be able to anticipate.
Apply it to this year.
Exactly. So next year, we know we're going to be in a better situation just because of the fact that we've had increases and we're doing fee studies to make sure that we're up to par with where we should be in other areas. Because there's a lot of different fees that we provide that just haven't been updated in a while.
Councilman, just so you know, we asked the tax collector to run a report today for anyone that was delinquent over 15,000. We use that as a threshold. The report came back with 860,000 that was delinquent. It was a majority of one property was 600,000 that almost, which was 2 Gate Hall. You know, the collector has done a very good job. I mean, you noted that in December, that number was higher. There was like 5 properties. The collector has done a great job collecting that money from a bunch of them. There is, of that 800,000, one, like I said, was 560,000. Another one was 100,000. Everybody else is, you know, smaller, you know, 15, 20,000. So there's really 2 bad boys out there that we're going to go after.
Can I ask a question of you to explain a little bit in
Just
detail?
if you could
I'm
speak into the
sorry.
mic, yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Could you explain a little bit about the capital improvement fund for people that might not understand why it seems like such a big increase this year? What happened before?
Yes. So the capital improvement fund is essentially sort of like a trust. So every year we budget what we budget. It gets moved over to the trust, and then that's used to either purchase capital with cash or for the 5% down payment on bond ordinances. Every year, with all the normal capital that we put out, our 5% down payment on bond ordinances is close to $800,000. So we've only been budgeting 10,000 the last 3 years. It was well over several million before that.
You mean we've only budgeted 10,000?
Sorry, 100,000.
Okay, 100,000 for that whole fund?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So we're budgeting 100,000, but then we're spending close to 800,000 out of the fund. So it's drawn down. So we're at a point where it needs to be replenished at the very minimum and kind of kept strong going forward. So.
Thank you, that makes a big difference. Thank you.
Was the same thing occurred for the accumulated absences? It was budgeted low and we had to,
That one was the 10,000.
that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, so the accumulated absences are payouts for retirements for sick and vacation time. Our payouts consistently have been around the $1 million mark. We've only been budgeting $10,000. So in order to make up for that $990,000, we've been doing a special emergency every year.
Okay.
And then going and selling those as special emergency notes. So we're paying interest on that money as well. So knowing that we're expected to be paying out $1 million every year, we should be consistently keeping that in the budget so that we're not paying extra on that $1 million.
Okay. How many years have you been doing that?
Since 2015.
Okay. So $10,000 every year has been budgeted.
Mhm.
And special payments every single year. For more than 10 years. Okay.
So I guess we'll be doing a reset, so this next year it'll be a lot, our baseline will be in better shape, I'm hoping?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you guys can you guys hear me in the back? We had spoken in our meetings just briefly about how last year's budget is affecting this year's budget. Could you just go into a little bit about why we're at a 9.5% increase and what kind of led us here?
So those two items that we just discussed, probably at least a portion of them should have been added back into the budget last year, and they weren't. So that's why this budget is sort of a correction for the future. Additionally, we did use more in fund balance last year to offset tax revenue.
Just need you to speak up, because I don't think, you can't hear Mr. Suarez over there? Okay, can't hear back there, just need you to speak up a little bit. Mic is working, you just gotta kind of yell, sorry. We're putting this in a new budget, I promise, we're gonna get all new stuff.
Yes.
We've been having issues.
That's a capital.
We'll get mics, we'll get it, I promise. I mean, this is going in the budget, so I do apologize. Just gotta yell out a little bit.
So last year we did use more fund balance as a revenue in the budget, which offset a tax increase. So we used more, we drew down more on our fund balance, then we didn't generate that back. So that is the major driver here, is we have to budget half of what we budgeted last year.
And our approach moving forward, again, it's about being more conservative with how we're anticipating our fund balance and our revenues. So just because there's a spike in revenue doesn't mean that we have to go to the maximum anticipation. We can make smarter, business decisions in the future. This is a tough year coming off of a major decrease in fund balance that wasn't regenerated.
And you did say also in our meetings that some of the departments had tariffs made a difference in some of their bills.
Yes. We actually, a lot of our bills come in and they actually spell out at the bottom the additional charge for the tariff. So we've seen that. We've seen the energy bills have gone up significantly.
Yeah, one more thing that I did forget to mention is that with our health benefit increase of 15%, the state, if you were on the state health benefit, you're looking at an over 30% increase. So we are very fortunate that we're not on the state health benefits plan and that we are self-insured, but we would have been looking at a significantly higher number had we not been self-insured. So that's also important to note. We're talking millions of differences right there.
So would you mind going back to the fund balance slide 8, real quick? Sure. Would you mind, one more, would you mind walking through that, Angelica, just because, again, I'm not following how we went.
Mr. McGrath, if you could just speak into the mic.
We're not following how we went from, we really do need new mics. How we went from 9 million to 7 million to 3 million. Can you just walk through that? Because I believe you said the amount generated would be the amount used the following year, but it doesn't seem to line up that way. Can you just walk through what was done previously?
Okay, so the amount used in the budget, so for 2021, it was $0,
Yep.
and 2022 was $0. And then, so the last column is the amount that was generated by that budget.
Got it.
So in 2022, they generated 5.4 million. They used 5.4 million in the 2023 budget.
Got it.
So that's the
Yep.
principle there. So 2025, we generated 3.9. So we're using 3.8.
Right, but I guess the years in between, why do they not do what you said? Right, because if I generated 9 in 2023, in 2024 I'm using 5.4. I generate 7.1, I'm using 6.3. What's the difference there? Why? Like, I'm not following.
So you don't have to use.
So where's that money?
It's still in our fund balance. So our fund balance at the year end of 2025 is 9.4 million.
Okay.
So we're using 3.8 of that in
Of
this
that.
budget.
Why was it so low in the amount generated? Because I see that the fund balance is due to lower tax collection rate and higher budget utilization.
Mhm.
So what was the lower tax?
So we didn't collect all of the taxes. So we went from a 99%
Right.
collection rate to a 98%.
What's the
collection.
number though? Is it 100 million? Is it 2 million?
It's over $1 million.
Over $1 million was uncollected.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is that specifically from like commercial properties, or is that where is
It's-
that from?
It was primarily those larger taxpayers that we spoke about before.
So how do tax appeals affect that number? Do they?
Yes, they do.
How do pilots?
So that's why you will never see one, even if pretty much all of your taxpayers paid, you would never have 100% tax collection rate because appeals are backed out of that.
Sure. What about pilots when we remove them from the ratables? How does that affect that?
It affects your tax collection rate as well, yes.
Thank you.
And one more thing, you said we currently have 9.4 million in fund balance, but because we only generated 3.9 last year, that's all we're allowed to use towards the budget?
It's all that's recommended that you use because you never know what's going to happen. So a war could happen, a global pandemic could happen, and then if you spend down all your fund balance, then what do we do in the next year?
Right.
And if you'd like our auditors to earn their checks today, they can talk about best practices.
Well, before the order goes, one of the smart things you had recommended is not to bond out for everything. We're still paying for vehicles that are out of the system, so you prefer to buy things in cash, so we don't bond things for 20 years, and the vehicle's life expectancy is done at 10, and we're still paying for the next 10 years.
Yes.
So we're going to improve on some of these smart strategies.
Yes, so that's worked into my capital plan for this year, is paying for those vehicles and smaller purchases of that have a useful life that's shorter in cash, and then only going to bond for larger projects like roads and building improvements and things of that nature.
Okay. I know because I'm going to get asked a lot about the mistakes of the past. Can you briefly summarize, either one of you, on what they were? I know we covered some of these already, but anything that's missed?
I think I could touch back on the vacancies. I know that there might have been some playing around in the past about how, employment and positions were held on to, which is why we're putting in the check and balance of making sure that whatever employees are asking for, we are immediately advertising for those positions. And in the event that they are sitting, dormant for a significant amount of time, we will reassess to determine whether or not they'll be included in future years. We did a lot of that during the process this year, with a couple of departments losing a vacancy or a request. What we have in the budget right now, we feel is appropriate for the staffing levels that are needed in a growing municipality and the largest municipality in the county. That's one of them. Again, the two biggest ones is how budgeting for if I'm being diplomatic about it, it's more of a gimmick to keep your interest low. It's how it was done in the past, and the proper way to do it is to actually anticipate what the true cost is and have that within your budget. So that's a major correction that we shouldn't have had to do, but we have to do it now. And then, like, again, we're going to be doing significantly more strategic breakdowns of how we're putting our capital budgets together moving forward, and what we're picking and choosing what we go out for bond and what we build. And one of the biggest things you learn in finance is that you do not put short-term solutions on long-term problems. So even though those $2 million lines look big, quite frankly, it should be bigger to help us move forward. But we're keeping it in a way that we're going to be able to slowly make things better for the township from a fiscal standpoint.
Okay. Can the auditors jump in now?
Yeah, I would just add regarding fund balance, you never want to have zero. Just like having a savings account, you never want to have zero in your savings account, especially when you're operating a $100 million budget. So the years where you had zero fund balance, obviously you were in somewhat of fiscal stress at that point. And then the next year you generated some, but almost utilized all of it. You really don't want to be in that position, because you're going to have emergencies, you're going to have spikes in spending that you want to help pay for that in times of emergency. Also, when you go out to the bond market, when you have such razor thin fund balance amounts, and you're utilizing the whole amount, you're going to get a lower rating. You're most likely going to have to pay more interest expense on your outstanding debt. But the other thing, one of the common questions is, how much fund balance should you have? And there's really no hard and fast rule as to how much fund balance you have. The Government Finance Officers Association of the United States, they've put out a number, 17% basically of operating expenses, which is basically 2 months of your operating expenses. So for a budget your size, ballpark would be $13.5 million would be an ideal amount of fund balance to have on hand. Again, not a hard and fast rule, but just to give you some kind of measure of what would be considered a healthy fund balance, given the size of it, $13.5 million compared to where you are. And then, as the tax collection rate hurts you, year over year, interest rates aren't as high, so you're not earning as much on your investments and your idle cash. So all those things contributed to a year in which you generated less surplus year over year.
I have a question for you. 4 or 5 years ago, our fund balance was pretty much down to nothing, correct?
Yes.
We were like living paycheck to paycheck 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was after COVID, right?
It would have been yes.
Thank you.
Part of COVID.
So,
Okay,
I have a couple questions. So, on the what to look forward to, do we have expectations of like cost on those projects, or what we're allocating out of the budget towards them? So splash pads, library resolution, education, all those things. Do we know what those?
Yeah, I can give you like a ballpark. So for the splash pads, we're going to be trying to seek grants for those. We also have open space funding is within our we wouldn't have to pull out of our current budget.
Awesome.
So that's what we'd be looking at there. For the library, brief history, and it's my new history of they had in the past they had gone out for a grant for a knockdown rebuild. Which was a matching grant, and the way that the grant is built on is you get more money if it's a knockdown rebuild, and it's based off of square footage. At the time, it was a $3 million that was matched, so a $6 million total. But I think the total cost at the time, correct me on the date of how far along that was in the past, they didn't have enough money back then to do that. So I think the project remained relatively dormant at the time. Since I've been here, I've gone back and forth with the state to try and open up all of our options to see as to whether or not we can make an amendment for remodel of the building, and that remodel would be a lower cost grant. But it would still, we still have that $3 million sitting there, and we also have, no matter what, we would have to repurpose that bond because of the way that the original bond was written.
Yeah.
But there's also other opportunities that we've been looking at as well to see what can be done. But the goal is to be in collaboration with the library every step of the way and try to make costs significantly better any way that we can.
So just to be clear, those funds were already allocated for this, so we wouldn't be taking.
Yeah,
so-
this is not included in this budget. They were already.
Okay.
Correct,
Just
yeah.
want to make sure. Yep.
And then for the Knoll investments, I think some of them might have been put together through previous capital ordinances. I'm not 100% sure on that.
They're included in this capital budget.
Okay, in this capital. And then for Township and Board of Education collaboration, as we discussed when we met as well, it's really about trying to see if there's shared service opportunities between us and the Board of Education to be able to find ways that we can cut costs, by sharing responsibilities. Road resurfacing, traffic, and lighting upgrades, as much as we do have them in our capital, we'd also be looking at grants
Okay.
to do that in any way, shape, or form.
In the past, I want to say, Paul, keep me honest, was that up to 7 million for road improvements? I want to say it was very low and then went very high.
Yeah,
Do you remember
it
by
had
chance?
gone down.
Or Judy, do you remember?
It had,
No.
years ago, it had gone way down, and then it was brought back up, the amount that was budgeted for that.
And then, it looks like you might be looking at, and then the Glenmont Commons piece, where are we at with the lawsuit? And then are they paying for it through the lawsuit, or how's that going to work?
So I would turn it over to our attorney at this time, but I know that we're in the process of settlement.
Correct. So there is a proposed settlement that has not been finalized yet, so it's still an active lawsuit.
Understood.
So I'll leave it at that.
Got it.
But that is something that should be presented to the council for review to sign off probably in the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Understood. Okay.
Any other questions from council?
Yeah.
For the roads, it was $2.5 million for road resurfacing and pavement markers, and I think it was, what was it? Yeah, 250,000 for, no, that's sidewalks. Oh, curb sidewalk repair projects are 250,000.
Thank you.
And then, okay, in the Glenmont Road, we have a request of $1.5 million to start putting that aside.
Okay.
Glenmont Commons.
Yeah, and that's the.
And whatever it comes down to, it's going to be a phased project. It's not something that we're going to be able to do in one shot.
And then, do we know, so that's probably one of the biggest complaints I get is our roads, and obviously coming out of snow season, they're pretty rough. Do we know how much we spent over the last 4 or 5 years, let's say, on roads versus this?
So one of the main reasons that I wanted to have, we consolidated the departments coming in for Public Works to include engineering, and I want engineering to be able to explain to the public how roads are selected and how the funding gets distributed.
Yep.
So they're going to be able to explain that portion of things, but from the long term.
I can get you exact numbers on
Okay.
that. So
Yeah,
I'll
just, I
email
just
that
want
to
to
you.
know, are we improving? Are we staying the same? Like, again, be good to know. Thank you.
So, two things. Looks like we under budgeted two things. Absences for over 10 years. What was the other thing we under budgeted last year?
Capital improvement.
Okay.
Yeah, the capital improvement was $100,000 that was budgeted, and the accumulated absences, I think you said since 2015, it's been $10,000. Any further questions?
I don't. Do you have any questions? I'm good. Anybody, Matt?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Okay, at this time, we can call up the presentation on the global initiative. We gotta do that presentation. Sort of. Yes.
Good question.
take the mic from up front. Try it. Yeah, test the speaker and see if it works.
Can everyone hear me? All right. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Samir. I'm a volunteer with Isha Foundation, an international non-profit organization dedicated to cultivating human well-being, founded by Sadhguru, a yogi, mystic, and a visionary. Save Soil is a global movement bringing together people from around the world to stand up for soil health and supporting leaders of all nations to institute policies and actions towards restoring soil health in cultivable land. Supported by leading international organizations such as UNCCD and many more. Here is a list of some of the environmental initiatives started by Isha Foundation. Most notably, recently in 2017, we started a Rally for Rivers to save India's rivers from depleting, and was supported by over 160 million people. In 2019, we started the largest farmer-driven eco-restoration project called Kaveri Calling. It aims to plant about 2.42 billion trees along the Kaveri River basin. That's over the next 12 years, and for farmers who's transitioned to tree-based farming, they have seen their income increase over 3 to 5 times than what they currently make. We'll watch a short video about Save Soil now.
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects. But we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have...
Yes, Samir.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I think you just had it up.
Yeah, I want to.
Here it is. You can go back.
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects. But we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our population will be 9.3 billion people. The food shortages that could manifest in the next 25 years, the consequences of that is unimaginable. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. What we are facing now is soil extinction. Why is soil becoming extinct? Where is it going away? What is happening to our soil? We must understand, if you add organic content to sand, sand will turn into soil. If you remove all organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%. At least this minimum to keep the soil alive, to keep the soil as living soil is a must. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy. In most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. The nutrient levels have dropped significantly. The level of micronutrients you would get from your food in early 20th century to what you are getting from the same food now has dropped 90%. If you ate one orange in 1920s, what you got from it. Now, in 2020, if you have to get the same, you will have to eat 8 oranges. This is what we have done to our food.
Soil is the biggest ecosystem on the planet, and so few people know anything about it. 1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth.
The microbial life in the first 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me.
We have to begin to recognize that what we call soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
Open soils, ripped open by plowing, open to sunlight, is the basis of destruction of microbial life. So the focus should be on agriculture, the focus should be on seeing that land is under shade as much as possible. Some kind of shade, grasses, herbs, bushes, trees. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years, because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 25th of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. We must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere, to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
For my part, as much as I can contribute.
We're going to save the soil. Do your part. And saving the soils.
Our future, our children's future, and our planet's future depend on it.
Save the soil.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
I'll just go a little more detail about Save Soil. So this journey happened in March 21st, 2022, where Sadhguru traveled across 26 different nations in Europe, in European countries, covering about 30,000 kilometers in 100 days. He attended about 691 events and interviews. I'm not going to go over the things that's already covered by the video, so I'll just skip through that. Topsoil is where this exchange of nutrients happen between the plants and the microbes that live inside the soil. During photosynthesis, plants produce carbon sugars that it passes down through the roots to the microbes that live inside the soil. In return, the microbes release nutrients that plants absorb. These microbes also rely on plant litter and animal waste to survive. In the last 50 to 100 years, we switched to using chemical fertilizers. We removed farm animals, we removed tree covers, vegetation from the farms. We thought chemical fertilizers is all that was needed to produce a bumper crop. But the microorganisms that live inside the soil, they don't feed on chemicals. For a soil to be considered healthy, we need at least 3 to 6% organic matter in the soil. At 3%, the organic content, the microbes in the soil are starving but could survive. Average organic content of soil in the US is around 1.3%, in Europe 1.2%, in India and Africa around 6.6%. If soil health continues to degrade at this pace, by 2050, due to loss of organic matter, the soil in farmlands could turn into sand. We have 20 years to make the soil healthy again. Otherwise, after 2050, due to loss of biodiversity, it will take us another 100 plus years to bring back soil in the state that it is at now. As we heard, it also causes many social issues. When there is a shortage of food, there could be conflict, migration. So what to do about this? The solution is to bring back at least 3 to 6% organic matter in the soil by having tree, vegetations, cover crops, cattle on the farm. We already went through some of the benefits of healthy soil, as it increases the nutritional value of the food that we eat. All right. Depleted soils cannot absorb water. It causes flood. A soil rich in organic matter can retain more water and releases it slowly over the time. This reduces the amount of water needed in farming and helps with preventing erosion. Carbon stored in soil is 3 times more that's in living plants and 2 times more that's in the atmosphere. Depleting soil could release about 850 billion tons of carbon into the atmosphere. This is more than all of humanity's emissions in the last 30 years combined. Healthy soil can help sequester over 1 billion tons of carbon back into the soil each year. So what can we do to improve soil health? Soil health needs supportive policies in every nation. Some of the policies needed are incentive-based policies to make farming more lucrative. Farmers would only switch to regenerative farming if it's more economically beneficial to them. Therefore, we need to incentivize farmers to increase organic matter in the soil. For example, if they grow cover crops, they are putting in their own money to grow those cover crops in their farm. Cover crops are not meant to be harvested. They're meant to be left alone, let it degrade in the soil, or have animals graze them. This costs the farmers extra money. So what they do is, even if they grow cover crops, they would harvest them for profits. They know this, but they need support. If we provide some kind of incentives for doing this, it will help them increase the organic matter in the soil. We should also make carbon credits accessible to farmers, like we do for industries. As we looked at the nutritional value of food grown in soil, which is higher in nutrition. We should market those food. Right now, if you go to grocery store, it just says organic. It doesn't say how much organic content did the soil have. If you display that, people are aware of the benefits of it, they could go for food that's grown in higher nutritional value. So policies needs people support like me and you, and people support needs awareness. The best thing we could do, I mean, are there any farmers here? No, right? So, no farmers here, right? So, what can we do to support this? The best thing we could do is, if you scan this QR code or go to savesoil.org, there's a link to write a letter to your leaders. You could write a letter to your president, prime minister, whoever you want, agriculture secretary. And the letter is pre-populated. All you have to do is click on it. You can email the letter. And that's the best thing we could do, because we need to make our voice heard. If people don't ask for these policies, it's not going to get implemented. Then we'll only be talking about this. So when you go home today, just take 2 minutes. Just click on that link, take 2 minutes, write a letter to someone. That's what we need to show. We need to show a need for this kind of initiative. Now, some of you, this is not a protest or an agitation against any chemical company or something, So don't go out there and bashing chemical company. We see a lot when we have a presentation. Sometimes some people abuse chemical companies. Don't do that. Instead work towards resolving this problem. Today, if we were to stop using fertilizers completely, the food production will go down 15%, because the soil is not in a state that it could support the kind of production we need from it. So with introduction of regenerative agricultural practices, we could increase soil health in 7 to 15 years. Once the soil is healthy again, then the reliance on fertilizer will deplete on its own, naturally. And here's one example. Recently, European Union passed its first ever dedicated civil legislation, the soil monitoring law. This just didn't happen overnight. It's because of citizens like us who sent letters to their leaders, who requested this to get implemented. They listened to it. If more people ask for it, the government will listen to it and do something about it. I highly encourage you to watch a video called Kiss the Ground, also Common Ground, and it goes in a great depth about soil and how it can help the environment and farmers. Part 3 will include Save Soil Initiative. Like I say, soil is neither a commodity nor an infinite resource. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you to the council. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I appreciate it. Mayor, do you want to do that now? So part of what we are going to do is make this proclamation that the mayor is going to read.
Pooja here?
Is Boots? Yeah. Great. I love it.
Speak loud.
Yes, I will speak loud.
Samir,
So, can you guys hear me? No, this mic's not working.
you have to stand up too. Samir too, right?
The mic should be working now.
Yeah, like you could.
Come on up.
Behind here.
Yep.
Let's move some chairs.
It's a long day. It's a long day. I have a special meeting tomorrow.
Love it. You guys came prepared.
Okay.
Picture frame. Anybody wants pictures after the council meeting? We can take some. All right. I'm gonna read this. Everybody can hear me? All right. Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills Proclamation. Save Soil Day, March 21st. Whereas Save Soil is a global movement launched by Sadhguru to raise awareness and unite leaders and citizens in protecting and restoring the world's soil, and healthy soil is essential to sustaining life, supporting food production, protecting biodiversity, conserving water, and helping address climate change. And Parsippany resident Pooja Panchala has brought attention to Save Soil movement and its mission to promote soil health and sustainability. Raising awareness and encouraging policies that support soil restoration and increase organic matter in agricultural soil are important steps towards protecting the planet for future generations. Now, therefore, I, Pulkit Desai, Mayor of Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, do hereby proclaim March 21 as Save Soil Day in Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, and encourage all residents to recognize the importance of soil health and support efforts to protect this vital natural resource. Thank you. Dated today, 17th day of March 2026.
It's great. Yeah, that's a great photo. Yay. Samir, thank you. Write the article. Great. Thank you, Mayor. Oh, yeah, no,
Four more pages.
I know.
Ready?
Yes, please.
Okay, moving along to the budget ordinance introductions for the budget. Ordinance 2026-15, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank for calendar year 2026 pursuant to NJSA 48:4045. Okay, be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council at Township Parsippany-Troy Hills on March 17th, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and a final passage at a meeting to be held on April 21st, 2026 at 7 p.m. prevailing time or soon thereafter, as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given the opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Can I please have a motion to approve the above resolution?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes. Resolutions are 2026-64, approving the utilization of the three-year average method in computing the township's fiscal 2026 reserve for uncollected taxes budget appropriation. May I please have a motion to approve the resolution above?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hernandez, seconded by Ms. Patel. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion passes. R 2026-81, authorize the 2026 municipal budget to be read by title only. Motion to approve the resolution above.
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call. Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion passes. R 2026-82, 2026 municipal budget introduction. Motion to approve the resolution above.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hernandez, seconded by Ms. Patel. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
And, Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving along to the consent agenda. Be it resolved, all items listed in an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. May I please have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Karifi, seconded by Ms. Patel. Roll call. Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Okay, moving along to approval of minutes. Motion to approve the minutes above for February 3rd, 2026 and February 17th, 2026. May I please have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hernandez, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call. Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving along to presentations and reports. Mayor?
I have a report. I had the privilege of issuing proclamations recognizing two centenarians, there you go, in Parsippany, Marie Perfenick and Renee Shockett. It's truly inspiring to celebrate lives that have spanned a century and continue to enrich our community. I also toured the newest EDGE facility in Parsippany, which stands for End Discrimination, Gain Equity. EDGE provides critical services to HIV positive and LGBTQ communities, including public health programs, housing support, behavioral health care, and education. Parsippany continues to be the place that embraces diversity in both its people and its organization. Last Friday evening, I attended the Sestville Civic Association annual meeting, one of Parsippany's oldest and most established community organizations. It was a great opportunity to connect with residents and hear directly from the community, and the Councilman Paul Karifi was in attendance. This past Saturday, I met with many of our crossing guards. It was a long overdue meeting. They take great pride in their work, know the children and families that they serve, and are deeply committed to safety. I appreciated the opportunity to listen to their concerns, and we will be meeting them regularly moving forward. Finally, my first pilot request came in last week for a proposed warehouse project at 169 Lackawanna Avenue. As promised, I shared the proposal with the council and personally delivered it to the Board of Education within days. The review process is now underway. We will take the time to evaluate the details, listen to all stakeholders, and have a thoughtful, productive discussion before making any decisions. Everyone deserves a fair and transparent process. Thank you.
Township Council?
I had something. Do you want to go?
I have two very long things, so you should
Thank
go.
you.
Too very long.
Okay, I'm short. The Parsippany Arts Center will be performing a play that is apropos of the times. It's quite appropriate. It's called Lifespan of a Fact. There's shows from 3/20 to the 22nd at 8 p.m. with a 3 p.m. matinee on 3/21. So this is our own Parsippany Theater, and then you can go out and eat on North Beverick in one of our fine establishments. Stay in Parsippany. You can look online at Ticket Leap Events /Low Motion Live, or you can email lowmotionlive@gmail.com. And then I just want to alert you to another event on the Public Library on Halsey Road. On April 9th, the Parsippany Environmental Advisory Committee with the Whippany River Water Action Coalition will be hosting a lecture on light pollution, and the topic is how to protect our natural environment, how it affects the light pollution at night, how it affects our ecosystem, health issues that human beings suffer that we might not know about, and what we can do about it. It'll be delivered by Dark Sky New Jersey chapter, and it is a big deal. Even when we're in planning boards and in Board of Adjustment, we talk about light and trying to minimize the light infiltration. So that's on April 9th. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez. Ms. Patel?
Okay, I have two things. One is from me as a councilwoman, the other is from the Economic Development Committee. so please bear with me. So starting with my council report, so I reported on this last week. We have a bigger crowd this week, so I just thought I'd take the opportunity to spread more awareness. So last week I had a resident stop by Town Hall during my office hours, and she came to me with a very human and honestly heart-wrenching request. It was to spread the word about a local teen who is in urgent need of a life-saving treatment. So Juan Urube recently shared a video about his son. You might have seen it on social media or on the news. His son, Max, who is a dedicated student and a talented pianist with big dreams, was recently diagnosed with a serious blood disorder. And so now Max's future depends on finding a match for a stem cell donor. So for the Urube family, they're up against the clock. It's a race against time. And Max is of mixed ancestry, which makes finding a match even more difficult. So he's of Latino ancestry, which makes finding a match difficult as it is, but being of mixed ancestry makes it even more difficult. So Latino patients have less than a 50% chance of finding a fully matched donor, and for people of mixed ancestry, it's even lower than that. So if you are between the ages of 18 and 35, you can register online at nmdp.org. I just sent my swab in this morning. So please, it's a quick little envelope they send you. There's 2 swabs in there. You swab your cheek, put it back in the envelope. It's prepaid postage. Little work for you to do. Get swabbed, and you'll be in the database in case anyone like Max, any of your neighbors, family, friends, ever need a stem cell donor. You might be the life-saving treatment that they need.
Say that again, it's NM?
Yeah, it's nmdp.org. Quick, painless, easy cheek swab. Literally no needles, no nothing, just swab your cheek. That's it. It could save someone's life. And then, so economic development. So the Parsippany-Troy Hills Economic Development Committee, joined by Mayor Polka Desai, celebrated the grand opening of Aura Studio and Cafe, owned by Paula and Juan Pablo Dominguez, with a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Saturday, February 28th at 83 North Beverwick Road, Lake Hiawatha. Aura Studio and Cafe offers a unique blend of Pilates, yoga, aesthetics, I'm so sorry, guys. It really is. Aesthetic service, beauty services, and a cafe, providing residents with a warm and welcoming space dedicated to wellness and community. The committee then celebrated the grand opening of Porzio, Bromberg, and Newman's new Parsippany headquarters with a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Wednesday, March 11th, located at 5 Sylvan Way, Suite 110. Porzio, Bromberg, and Newman is a prominent New Jersey law and government affairs firm, and their decision to establish a Parsippany headquarters reflects the township's continued growth as a premier destination for professional services and corporate investment. The Economic Development Committee welcomed Porzio to the community and looks forward to the positive impact their presence will bring to the area. The Parsippany-Troy Hills Economic Development Committee, together with Mayor Polka Desai and members of the Township Council, will celebrate the grand opening of 2 new local businesses with ribbon-cutting ceremonies. The first is Brucato Foot and Ankle Surgery, owned and operated by Dr. Mary Ellen P. Brucato, a board-certified foot and ankle surgeon. It will be held on Saturday, March 21st at 12 p.m. noon at 181 New Road. Saprisi will celebrate its grand opening with a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Sunday, March 29th at 11:30 a.m. at 176 Parsippany Road. Shortly after its ribbon cutting, they will be offering free signature chicken sandwiches to the public. So get a freaking free chicken sandwich. Residents, business owners, and members of the community are invited to attend these ceremonies and help welcome these new businesses to Parsippany. The Economic Development Team continues its commitment to supporting local entrepreneurs and strengthening the township's business community. The Economic Development Committee is also pleased to announce that Acrisure, a leading global insurance and financial services firm, is planning a grand opening and ribbon-cutting ceremony at their new Parsippany office at 3 Sylvan Way. The ceremony is anticipated to take place in late April or early May. The new location is expected to bring nearly 200 employees, a significant addition to Parsippany's workforce. Details will be announced as they are confirmed. The Economic Development Committee's next meeting will be held on Thursday, April 16th at 6:30 p.m. in the 3rd floor conference room at 90 East Halsey Road. The public is welcome to attend. Please RSVP with Chairman Frank Cahill at 973-559-6000. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member from council? Okay, moving along to Township Attorney, Mr. DeMarco.
Nothing for me.
Thank you. Moving along to our Business Administrator, Mark Seaman.
Thank you. Just wanted to remind residents that this presentation will be on the website tomorrow. Encourage anybody with any questions, please feel free to reach out. It is encouraging to see residents attending meetings and having questions, so I do appreciate seeing that. And again, thank you to the team for helping put this together as fast as they were able to, and thank you.
Okay, I don't have a report. Moving along to ordinances first reading. Ordinance 2026-16, an ordinance of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, Morris County, New Jersey, amending and modifying Chapter 4, Administration of Government, Section 4-81, Third-Party Payment Plan for Emergency Medical Services provided by Troy EMS, Chapter A445, Fees Compilation, Section A445-91, Emergency Medical Services of the Code of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, in the County of Morris, New Jersey. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on March 17, 2026, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and a final passage at the meeting to be held on April 21st, 2026 at 7 p.m. prevailing time, or soon thereafter as the matter may be reached, at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call. Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving along to ordinance 2026-17, ordinance amending Chapter 430 zoning, Section 430-8A of the Township Municipal Code, explaining the definition of personal services to include tattoo establishments. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on March 17, 2026, and that this ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on April 21st, 2026 at 7 p.m. prevailing time, or soon thereafter as the matter may be reached, at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. May I please have a motion to approve the above resolution?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call. Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez? Yes. Okay, motion passes. Moving along, ordinance 2026-18, ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, Morris County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 290 Parks and Recreation Areas and Public Lands and Chapter A445 Fees Compilation of the Code of Parsippany-Troy Hills. Be further resolved that the ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on March 17, 2026, and that this ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on April 21st, 2026 at 7 p.m. prevailing time, or soon thereafter as the matter may be reached, at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Can I please have a motion to pass the above resolution?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Karifi, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving along to the non-consent agenda. R 2026-74, authorizing the execution of an agreement with William A. Gluckman, D.O., who practices at Faster Urgent Care, LLC, for EMS Medical Director and Clinical Oversight Services. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion.
Seconded.
Motion made by Mr. Karifi, seconded by Ms. Patel. Roll call. Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion passes. R 2026-75, authorizing a contract for the repair upgrade of a 10-inch valve located at the Route 53 in Ridgewood Avenue. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call. Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion passes. R 2026-76, authorizing the settlement of Revax Contracting Corp. versus Township Parsippany, docket number MRS-L-1021-25. May I please have a motion to approve the above resolution?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call. Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes. R 2026-77, authorizing the settlement of Rosanna versus Township of Parsippany, docket number MRS L-1021-25. May I please have a motion to approve the above resolution?
Motion. Seconded.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez. Motion passes. R 2026-78, endorsing the fourth round housing element and fair share plan. Motion to approve the resolution above.
Hey, Khaled, how
Yes,
is
sir.
this different than what we've done a few times here?
Very good question.
So it was one of the things that the Affordable Planner advised me that we missed to do, which is just the planning board adopted the fourth round plan at their last meeting. This is just the council saying they endorsed the plan that was adopted. So it's the action, it's just reaffirming the action taken by the planning.
Are we going to share what the planning board did?
It's on the website already. The plan was uploaded.
For the public, I mean. just
Yep.
So the public.
Yep, it's already published and put up on the website already.
So, but again, we haven't really talked about that we've added sites to the plan. Is that
So
correct?
the plan was presented at the planning board meeting. The planner was there, the public was invited, it was noticed. The plan is now available online for the public to read.
Thank you.
R 2026-78, endorsing the fourth round housing element and fair share plan. Can I have a motion to approve the resolution above?
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hernandez, seconded by Mr. Kavanaugh. Roll call, Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
No.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes 4-1. R 2026-79, approving an affordable housing trust fund spending plan. Can I please have a motion to approve the resolution above?
Colette, can you explain what that means, please?
Mr. DeMarco?
Sure. So you have a affordable housing trust fund that the town maintains. Anytime a building is built with a commercial component to it, 2.5% of that assessed value upon its CO is collected. It's assessed by our assessor and then collected, placed in the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. There is a plan that was developed with the planning board in conjunction with the Affordable Housing planner on how that money will be spent. It's pretty much a guideline. There is money that needs to be spent on rehab. There's a rehab component. It could be for acquisition. It could be for support of additional housing or things of that nature.
And to be clear, that money's given to the town?
The money's held in trust. It's given to the town, held in trust for affordable housing purposes.
All right, thank you.
So R 2026-79, approving the affordable housing trust fund spending plan. Can I please have a motion to approve the resolution above?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Hernandez, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call, Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Abstain.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1. R 2026-80, authorizing a 6-month extension of the contract with Alpha Dog Solutions for website services. Can I please have a motion to approve the resolution above? We could be here all night, guys. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call, Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes. Approval of payroll and bills list. CFO Angelica Sabatini recommends authorization for payment. Number 1, authorizes payment of the March 26, 2026 regular miscellaneous payroll estimated at $1,650,000. And number 2, payment of bills from voucher list of March 27, 2026, which is $2,171,121.49. Can I please have a motion to approve the authorization for payment?
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Ms. Hernandez. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
And, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Okay. Before I go into adjournment, I just want to speak to the council for 1 second with regards to the special, budget hearing that we're looking to set. So, we are looking to set that meeting at this point in time. I believe it's April, can I have a?
14th.
Sorry?
Tuesday, April 14th.
Tuesday, April 14th. I just want to ensure that the council is available for that day.
What time?
It's, we should start, it's Tuesday, April 14th to give the public an opportunity to get out of work and get here, so we would start at about 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock, we would say, 6 o'clock.
6 is fine.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That works for all council?
Good.
Fantastic. That meeting will be noticed. Keep an eye out. It will be on April 14th at 6 p.m. to allow enough time for the public to get here. Thank you. May I please have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call, Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
We're adjourned. Have a great night, everyone.
I know.